and welcome to another Stamping and Crafting, Stamping and Creating with me, Fiona Whitten. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Fiona Whitten and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in Wokingham, Berkshire in the UK. On the, most Wednesdays, I go live on Facebook and I share a project or two made with some of the Stampin' Up! Product. So last weekend I held a team event. Just bear with me a second, I just want to make sure that this is going out live and pre-certain it is, but one can never be 100%. Yes, so last weekend we had a team event here in my craft room, and I designed a number of cards, and one of them I designed using the Friends for Life bundle, so that's the stamp set and the dies, and in addition to that I used the Full of Life paper, which is this. Now there's lots of flowery stamp sets and the like in the annual catalogue, but this just kind of struck me as being a little bit different, and it's one of those things that you can actually use for all sorts of things, although the stamps are sort of friend related, so you can say happy birthday friend, so excited for you, thank you for being a friend, etc. There's no reason why you can't use the dies and the paper for other things. So this is the card that we made on Saturday. I just wanted to show you quickly. So it started off as a piece of the Full of Life paper. Now there is a lot, there's 48 sheets in this, and it's this particular bit here is what we used, or there's other people used other colourways. So it started off as that, and then I used the really large dotted spots, dotted circles, embossing folder, the one that's like a whole sheet of A5. So that was what we made on Saturday. That's not what I'm going to make today, but I just wanted to show you this as an example, because I have actually started a sheet that shows all the dies and everything, but I haven't quite finished it. This just gives you an idea of one of the dies. Okay, so as I said, Friends for Life. So there's a stamp set, which all of these stamps are being shown at 80%, so be careful. Not 80%, 90%. Crumbs, my eyes are really bad today. So 90%. There are some dies that coordinate with some of the stamps. So this particular image here is actually cut out with this die. These two hearts are actually on one stamp, and they are also cut out using one die, but in fact they are two individual hearts when you actually come to get them off your die machine. And then this friend, now there are two bits here. So we've got the intricate bit, and then you've got this bit that will cut out the shape of friend. So you can stamp the friend bit and then die cut it using this. You can also do what I did on this card. You can see the background's white, which was this bit, and then this bit you use to die cut out a different colour, and you can then glue it on. So if you're not into stamping, then you can use the dies. Obviously, if you do like stamping, then you can use the stamp and the dies rather than the two set of dies. It's really up to you. Those actually sort of interlock on here. So there's those. The paper I'll go over in a minute, and I'll just quickly, now I did start doing one of my sheets with all the dies on. This is where if I knock it, I know it's all going to go all over the place, because as I said, I haven't quite finished it. So this is what the dies look like when they're cut out. So on this one, as you can see, I stamped friend and then I die cut it. This is the leaf. These are the two hearts. So those are the 3 stamps that have a coordinating die. But there's so many dies here. There are, let's see what it says. There are 9, but you can use so many different combinations of them. So this was 1 die, which when you actually cut it, it just cuts these leaves into your paper. But then when you use the second die, which is this one, it then cuts out the actual leaf bit and the outside. And then these 2 bits here are just using this particular die. So it cuts out a surround and an innie bit. So as I said, you can mix and match these. So I mean, this one will quite comfortably sit on that one. So you can have something underneath which is a completely different colour. So I've got a bit of work to do on this. And I did check that most of these long... Actually, I said most of these long sentiments fit in there because I held it against there and I just suddenly realised actually if they're at 90%, then there's no guarantee that they will, but yeah, they do. So those long sentiments will fit on this, which is good. So that's the stamps and the dies. As I said, I've got to do a little bit of work on this and get it all stuck on there, and then I can put a photo up on my blog and on Facebook. The other bit that there's some ribbon that goes with the sweet, and there's also these rather sweet looking embellishments, and they're called the iridescent faceted gems. You get 2 different sizes, 4mm and 5mm, and there's 100 in the pack. And they're rather sweet. I love the fact that that looks like it's a star or something that's cut into the top of the actual embellishment. Somebody said on Saturday, oh, they remind them of the pearl buttons that used to be sewed onto cardigans and things. Those were the days. Anyway, so that's those. So there's ribbon, but I don't have that. And then the paper, it's 6x6. There are 48 sheets, and you get 4 of each of the 12 designs. So you have squares, you have overlaid dots. This is like the sunshiny splash. So this one's already been cut up. So some of the squares. So you've got big squares, you've got smaller squares. They're in different colourways. I thought for a minute that I actually had this and that on here twice. But then I realised actually when you turn it over, you can see that it's not. So you've got that one here that has the pink and yellow, and that one that has the blues. And there's some very pretty like ombre effects. That looks like it's been not watercoloured, but it's been spritzed. You've got straight lines, and also this is my favourite. So this is one that I think I might use this afternoon. As you can see, you've got sort of like rectangular pieces in a different colourway. So this is, which one is it? So that's that one, and that one. Which means it's that one. Okay, so you know what? This is probably from there. And that's the problem when you cut up to try and show people And there are so many different colours. I just about managed to actually fit them all on here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's 15 colours that this paper coordinates with. So I am sure there will be a colourway that you like that will fit into your stash. As I said, the reverse size, if some of these you don't like, I have a friend who doesn't like the greens, you know what, on the other side, it's not very green. So I'm sure she would use those instead. Anyway, so that's the paper. And then the question is, now I said I liked that colourway, but then again, there's so much to choose from, but I think I am going to stick with that. I have a birthday card to make for my sister, but I'm actually not going to make it in that. I'm going to just do something slightly different. We are friends, but it's not really what I would want to give to her as a card. So I'm going to grab my cardstock. So what I grabbed was some, because I've got some Melon Mambo, Petunia Pop, and also some Pretty in Pink. Now looking at that, I'm not, actually that would be okay, I think. Be fine with it. Maybe I should go for something slightly different. What do you reckon? Yes, no? So that's rather nice as well. It's got everything on it. Not the blues and the yellows. Oh, how about that one? Because I could cut it so that there are more pinks than blues. Okay. I think I'm going to stick with the Melon Mambo, and I'm going to stick with that paper instead. So I'm going to cut a base card. So I'm going to get my paper trimmer. And I know some of these things are now going to fall onto the floor, so I may as well put them there now. And then I know they can't go any further. So, to cut a base card, I've got my A4, and I'm going to cut it in half on the long side. I don't want my light grey blade, because it's for scoring, so I want my dark grey, and I'm going to cut it at just under 14.9. And then I'm going to turn it, and on the long side, on the new long side, I'm now going to score it at 10.5. So that will give me my base card. Like that. So that base card is 10.5 by 14.9. So I liked that bit. I wanted most of the pink. So I'm going to cut this now. So it's going to be 1/2 centimetre narrower and 1/2 centimetre shorter. So I'm going to cut it at 10 by 14.4, and hopefully that means that I've actually got quite a bit of pink on here. Or the Melon Mambo, yes, that works. So there's that. I also need to cut some basic white for the inside and for my sentiments and things. I'm just going to grab a quick sheet of that and cut it in half. And I'll only need half for the card. So I'm going to quickly cut it at 10 by 14.4, which is what will then be good for the inside. That fits neatly. I'm going to cut a piece. Oh, this is where I look at that and think, oh, actually I quite like that. But I'm not going to, I must stop looking at things and changing my mind. I'm going to cut a piece that's 1.5 centimetres wide, and that can go on the inside of the card. And then start thinking about how I'm going to decorate this, what I'm going to do to stamp. So I want to use a couple of these actually. So I want to thank you for being a. Now those are two separate stamps. So that's one. That's the thank you. So I'll put that on here. That. And then that's the for being a. Be big enough. Well, that's plenty big enough. I could actually put them together, but I'm not going to. And then I also want a block for friend, because I'm going to stamp it and then I'm going to die cut it rather than getting out my fine tip glue and but gluing pieces together. So because this piece is so thin, you do need fine tip glue just to make sure, or the other alternative is just to put a blob of multi-purpose glue on the back of your hand and then just tap the die cut lightly into the glue, and then you won't put too much on it, and it should then stick to the other piece quite nicely. Okay, right. Now this, yeah. Okay, so I am going to. I've got some scrap of that. I don't really want to cut into that piece of Petunia Pop. I've got this. That's not big enough. So I'm going to get my scrap pieces out. Here we go. That bit should be big enough. So I want to make a circle using my Deckled Circles. Now I don't want anything that's too big. It's the next size down, I think. Yes, that will be fine. So let me quickly die cut them. Actually, I'm going to put all this to one side so I know what I'm doing. So that's going to get die cut. I want to stamp these those three even pieces, and where did I put that piece of basic white? Here well, I'll cut that bit in half and then I can use that. I know it's here. It is here somewhere, but hey. So just off to the side, cutting this. You can probably see my shadow. Right. So I've got friend and I've got the thank you for being. So the friend, I'm going to stamp down here and then die cut it. And I'm going to stamp that in a Melon Mambo. Now, this is a very wet ink pad, so it looks a bit patchy on my block, and it's also a relatively new stamp, so that's not looking too good, but let's see what happens when I actually come to stamp. Quite often it runs together, but it's not doing that here. That's not good at all. Let me clean that and see if I can get it to... Sometimes you have to stamp them a few times. That might be better. Let's do it on here. It's getting better. The other thing you can do, other than stamping a few times if you don't want to waste your ink, is to simply clean it on your Simply Chamois a few times, because sometimes there is just some chemicals from the manufacturing process. Let's put that on here, see what happens then. That's better. And it will dry a bit lighter than that, so that's quite nice. Then what else have I got here? I've got Petunia Pop I've used, and I said I was going to use Melon Mambo. In fact, that was going to be in Melon Mambo. Let's see what it looks like. It's darker. Melon Mambo's a bit darker, so I'm not... There we go. So we've got two more sentiments. I've got the thank you. So I'm going to do that in Melon Mambo as well. And I'm going to do the For Being a Friend in the Petunia Pop. So I've then pulled in the two colours that that are on that sheet there. And then I'm going to die cut those. So I need my dies. So I'm going to use the outline of Friend, like so. Now I know that because I don't have a magnetic plate for my cut and emboss machine, so I'm going to have to use that. Now I'm thinking going to use this and see what happens. Could be good, might not be, but we'll see. Another bit of washi tape. This is a kind of guessing game here as to how close I'm going to get this, whether it's going to be straight or not. If it's not, then I'm going to go for the alternative, which is to ditch this. Okay, so Stampin' Cut Boss machine. Got a big one today. Although those would fit through the mini machine. And the mini machine and the standard machine have exactly the same plates for die cutting. So you have your large base plate, so you have your 1, every 2, and then you have the 2 lots of 3, and you make a sandwich with those. Oh, that did not sound good, but it's fine. Let's see now. come out nicely. I need my take your pick tool just to poke that out. So that will come out. Maybe I should have just taken a trimmer to it and done it that way. Oh dear, sometimes washi tape doesn't stick, and sometimes it does actually manage to tear lots of things. I'm trying to see what I've got here that's left on this so I can reuse it. So I've got the thank you, got the friend, and then so I could put that on there. Or I could just, as I said, trim it, which is what I think I'm going to do. And I'm going to redo the thank you. Let's see what happens when it's 1.5 centimetres wide. I suspect actually it might be a little bit too much and I may have to take some more off. Actually it's not so bad. So I'm just eyeballing this. I'm not in any way trying to get it central, though. I haven't done too bad a job of it. That's that. That's that. And I need to redo thank you. Quickly. Melon Mambo. To think then for what was I going to do? Let's go for... It's always helpful to start off with a straight edge. Doesn't always work out that way, especially when you're using some scrap, but hey, it's just got a bit of ink on it, so I'm just going to put it in the middle and then I'll trim it. Let's move that out of the way. I said the last one was 1.5 centimetres, so let's stick to that and see what happens. Now I know I can see some stuff showing through, but when you put it on there it should be okay. So I'm going to quickly die cut a circle using those Deckled edge dies, which you won't find in the catalogue, but you will find them in the online exclusives. So just so you know, if you go looking for it, I think I will go maybe one size larger. Looking at it now that I've got this here, maybe I won't because I can't find them. Let's just go for it. What the heck? There we go. There it is. Oh, now I've spotted it. So I've got my circle. I've got my thank you, and I think I'm just going to offset them like that, and then I've got the friend, this bit here. I think that can go on that bit there. I think I was right. I do need a larger circle. Hey. Sometimes you just have to try these, and if they don't work, keep the bit which is not right for another occasion. And then you can not quite start again, but try again. Right, I'm not going to move that big shot of the cut and emboss machine over. I'm just going to quickly whiz it through at the side. It's not that much bigger, but I think it will make all the difference. Playing around with this forever and a day. But yeah, I'm happy with that. So all we need to do now is to glue it together. So let's put the paper on. Here, like so. Now this can go on, can add some dimensionals underneath that, just to lift it up a bit. Believe it or not, there is a right and a wrong way to these die cuts, so if you look carefully, you can see there's like an impression going around the outside edge. So that's the side that you want facing up, rather than the side the other side, which is a bit, in my case, is a bit crumpled because my plates are quite old. So you'll find that sometimes the reverse side of your die cuts look a bit scarred, just basically because they've taken on whatever marks and things are on your plates. Put that there. Now, friend, I want to have on the bottom. And I'm going to pop that up as well. So that means I need an edge. And I also just need an edge off here. Because I need to be careful which bits I apply it to, because some of these bits will be hanging off, so I don't necessarily want to put it onto the F and the D. I could put it on the top half of the F, that would be fine. So you kind of have to look at these things first before you go sticking all your dimensionals on, just to make sure that you put it in a place where it is actually going to come into contact with the thing that you want to stick it to, and not something else. And edge strips from these are really good for cutting up, and sometimes you don't quite make the right length, but hey, just lift it up and snip it quickly. And you don't have to do every single bit. I'm not going to do the eye, so that's going to go on here. Let's peel these off. No doubt they'll get walked around the house if I'm not careful. So friend can go on. Want to have a little bit. If you're not happy with the fact that this bit and this bit is hanging, Certainly the bits that are actually off, you can put double height. Where's my thank you bit? There it is. I think that needs to be trimmed slightly. I would take a pair of scissors to it, but I don't trust myself. I'm certainly no good at cutting things in a straight line. I don't think I'm good at cutting things on a trimmer with a straight line, because that's definitely on a bit of a wonk. Now we could, that's what I'm going to do, just to make it, just to give it a little bit of a, yeah, I wanted to go that way, I think then. Now I'm going to glue that piece. Like so, and then this one I'm going to see, that needs to go over a bit, I think. I can have dimensionals on it. Quick look at it myself just to see that I'm happy with it. I think that needs to be straightened a bit. Okay, that's that. Let's do the inside quickly. So I'm just going to put some glue on that strip of paper, stick it on, trim it off, and then glue it in. So you can have all sorts of fun, I think, with this stamp set and dies. As I said, you can mix and match the dies. You can make different focal points. That's that. I think the last thing I need to do, other than burnish that fold, which I didn't do, is put some of those embellishments on, which are here. I'm just going to use the putty end this time to lift these up. Let's do a mixture of little ones and big ones. I like to put a bit of bling on, but I'm not one that I will put lots and lots on, so for me that is enough. So that is it. That is today's card. So I've used the stamp set and the dies from the Friends for Life bundle, and thrown in a deckled edged circle as well for good measure, just to create that focal point in the middle. And then I've brought in both Melon, Mambo and Petunia Pop, which are two of the colours that are on the paper and obviously on the card base as well, the card base being Melon, Mambo. So that's my card for today. Next week it's Card in the Cuppa, because it'll be the first Wednesday of June. Quick reminder that the current joining offer, which is the free bundle of in colour inks paper, that expires the end of the week on 31st of May. So if you are thinking about joining Stampin' Up, love you to become an Acorn, and you'll find all the information both on my Facebook page and also on my blog being oakfieldcrafts.com. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.